switched sides again, so Fnatic will this time around have the first pick, sorry about that, and Na'Vi will be on the Radiant. So, because of that, we're going to see if Na'Vi are going to take any sort of approach to thinking about Roshan, as Fnatic have the dire advantage. In the last game, it didn't even matter. We didn't even see Roshan getting killed. Fnatic were just incredible in that game. And if I'm Na'Vi, I'm a little bit shaky right now. Not that I don't believe in myself and in my own play, but that last game from Fnatic was kind of scary. And it makes you wonder, what does Na'Vi not want to play against? Gonna ban out the Naga first, which Fnatic would have probably liked to first pick. And then I'm imagining, so here's the problem. There's an Ember Spirit and a Tinker. And I don't think they want to play against that Tinker again, because it seemed to cause them quite a bit of trouble, even though they locked it down. But then you leave Ember. You really don't want to do that either. So
I think Ember gotta go. I mean, Tinker is obviously amazing, especially in the hands of, well, either both Hani and Dendi. I guess Na'Vi has the first pick, so they would probably take that. But Ember Spirit, I don't know, man. It's just too good of a hero. Maybe you just leave both open, I guess, and you get one of the two.
It's a hero where if I'm giving that away, I really want to see what's in the pool to counter it with. And there's not that many stuns and silences, right? There's the Lion. If he can get in close, he can definitely lock him down. He's a great hero against Ember. What else is there? Night Stalker.
Expect Na'Vi to ban Tinker and then take Ember, because they can't get both. You would assume if they don't ban it, one of each is going to be picked up for both sides.
I think if they ban Tinker, Fnatic just take Ember.
Oh wait, I'm sorry, Fnatic
They're
has
going to ban the Io instead, which was also there. And there's Ember, so Na'Vi willingly giving it away. They didn't want to give Io to Fnatic, which makes sense. There's actually some decent heroes to go with it as well. There's the Luna that they could have picked with it. The Tiny is there, and even Night Stalker, Slardar. I think banning Io here was actually a really good choice, because even though Ember Spirit is a great hero and Fnatic play it well, I think it's less comfortable for them than having Io Tiny in this kind of a hero pool. So Na'Vi go with the less of two evils, I guess you could say, the lesser one, and I'm thinking Tinker here, plus a good support. Or they get two really good supports early on and try to beat Fnatic in the laning stage.
Yeah, well, one way or another, Luna's going to get picked. She's picked pretty much every single time when she's not banned, in this tournament particularly. But there's still a lot of carries to boot on top of that. But yeah, the Ember Spirit's going to be hard to contain. But you're right, the EO had to be banned from Na'Vi. But I was under the impression that actually Na'Vi had first pick, so my head was not in the right place. But they are going to take Tinker, and then I didn't even realize Enchantress. I'm sure you said that, but Enchantress was available, which Puppy, I'm sure, is very happy about.
Yeah, that's true. I think that hero, I saw the breakdown of it. I think it has a 100% win rate in our tournament, the Enchantress. With, how many picks was it? Maybe I misread the graph a little bit. Maybe it only got picked once or twice, but that's kind of a hero that's going to be absolutely crucial when Fnatic and Na'Vi meet. I can't believe I missed that Enchantress was there, because of course, these two teams have great junglers. No-Tail plays a great Enchantress, so does Puppy.
So I'm going to say this, Cinder, not to cut in. There are two heroes available that are great against Enchantress, or great against any creep-relying hero, and that's Witch Doctor and Crystal Maiden. So,
that's
of course,
true.
I don't think Fnatic's going to get both, but
they're going to get one of them.
I believe Witch Doctor is the choice for No-Tail, so I would be surprised if they don't choose that. But of course, the Cask, if people don't know, and the Frostbite from Crystal Maiden are just amazing against creeps. And since they don't have to, since they know that Na'Vi's not going to take both, they just pick up the high tier. I mean, look at this lineup: Ember Spirit, Clockwork, Luna. Those are all top tier picks.
And Na'Vi are getting a little bit pressured on time, so they need to decide fast. They're going to get the Lion as their second support, I guess, because they want to have something on Ember. I think you're in trouble if you don't. I'm assuming they'll get Night Stalker as well, to be honest. Booyah.
What a pro!
They need a silence against Ember that's not just Lion. And at the same time, the heroes Fnatic have, apart from Clock, are not that good against Night Stalker. Night Stalker comes online very early, and if he starts finding some momentum on the map, he can easily deal with a hero like Luna, almost by himself.
I think you go Witch Doctor, Wraith King. That's what I'm thinking for Fnatic. Witch Doctor's really good. I mean, obviously against the Enchantress, but along the lines with Clockwork, another one of those combos with Cogs. You can get an easy Maledict into an ult. They're gonna go the Crystal Maiden though. I guess that's a little safer overall, because you don't have to rely on the Cask and whatnot. Although No-Tail's had amazing RNG. Are they gonna random? They randomed that. There's no way they picked that. There is no way they picked. They have 4 core heroes.
Whoa!
Necrophos, the first pick of the tournament we get tonight.
Oh boy. This
Like,
hero
is there
is
any
like
way?
absolutely never picked anywhere.
Synderen,
I'm
was this
so
a random?
happy.
The Slardar?
The Slardar?
No-Tail picked him pretty quick once it was available to choose heroes just now.
I don't know. I think the
I don't want to show my console, but
really good thing about Slardar is how good he is against Night Stalker here. It's amplify damage, and having a fast support that can keep track, that can follow and Stalker around and keep him somewhat controlled is really nice. That might be the idea for Fnatic. They might have also just panicked because they ran out of time. And then finally, when Navi last picked Necrophos, I think Slardar might turn into a really good pick here, because Necro is one of those heroes where you either all in and bring him down, or you ignore him. You can't commit half on that hero. He has to go down, because else he heals himself and his entire team up. If you commit and bring him down, he's very fragile. He has shitty armor, move speed, stats. Generally a terrible defensive hero who needs a lot of items to become useful. But at the same time, I feel like for Navi, this might be a good opening in the draft, since Fnatic's lineup is really spread damage based. It's not single target. Luna is spread damage, Ember Spirit is spread damage, and Slaughter is a support, so he's not single target damage either. So I think this is really intelligent, getting the Necrophos in this game, and I'm very impressed by just the thought process of deciding to get it here. I just hope we get to see Necrophos being useful, because that's kind of the one thing this hero tends to never do, even in bottoms.
well, Kavos is gonna be farming, so I mean,
yeah, that's you have to do that.
I mean,
this hero is mistakenly labeled as a support in the game. I think he's a god-awful support.
Yeah, it's god-awful. Maybe if they up the range on Death Pulse, maybe it would be okay. But either way, this is one of the most farm-dependent heroes in the game by far as well. You need to build tanky on him, and it's not exactly a snowball hero, but obviously getting off to a good start will be pretty crucial. Let's go over to Linus real quick. Ani is going to be top lane as the Ember Spirit for Fnatic, obviously. No-Tail playing the support Slardar. I actually think maybe it was a random, maybe it wasn't. This could be potentially a decent hero for ganking once you hit level 2. Getting sprint and the crush, and actually has boots right away. So
boots first roaming Slardar.
It's pretty legit.
I love our tournament.
Crystal Maiden played by Fly. Era playing the Luna, no big surprise. That's gonna be a dual lane, and then Trixie the off lane Clockwork. Go ahead and do Navi, and then I have one thing I want to talk about.
Alright, we've got Puppy on Enchantress. Who's surprised? Raise your hands. Okay, that's no one. Funnick will be playing Tinker. That's a surprise. He's going to the offlane with boots first, so probably going to try to do some Ancients, which I'm assuming Puppy will try to enable him to do by controlling the Ancient camp here, already giving vision there. We've got Kuro playing as the Lion. Dendi will be playing on Night Stalker in mid, and finally Necrophos will be played by Havost as the safe lane farmer, which I think is the only really fitting role if you want to run this hero. It is safe lane. He's too fragile to ganks in mid. He's not really a lane dominator against anything else than melee. Put him in the safe lane, get him big, and go big.
Not that I don't think this is going to happen, but if he eventually gets an Aghanim, so I don't think I've ever seen Aghanims on him in a professional game since they've changed it. You can correct me if I'm wrong, you probably watch way more games than me, but it can be absolutely game-breaking, preventing people from buying back, which is a huge deal in the late game. So we'll just see if that comes into effect. Highly doubtful, but you never know. I want to mention before we continue, thanks to everybody helping out with the prize pool. As you can see, it's $0 right now on the overlay, but it's actually above 40,000.
Production value.
Absolutely, it's above 40,000 right now. And as a result, the stretch goal for this tournament is probably the best for any tournament to date. After this stream is over, after we're done, I shouldn't say the stream is over. Once these games come to a conclusion, I will be showing the official Dota Cinema Kitties on webcam, so stay tuned on stream. If you're watching in Dota TV, you're going to have to turn on the stream for that. I do apologize, but I can say very confidently it is worth it. Meanwhile, top lane, No-Tail, doesn't have any of his abilities skilled right now, so just
here comes Slardar. Oh god, I fucking love this. This is amazing. I hope it works out for Fnatic, so it's not just that like after the game they're like, oh well, this Slardar was god awful. I hope Slardar plays a good game, no matter the outcome of the match, just so we can say we did well with a roaming Slardar. That would be kind of funny if that does get pulled off. But as far as the lanes go, of course, Dendi's going to have a pretty hard time in mid. He's actually doing a good job having 4 CS already. This duo lane from Fnatic is not easy to go up against, both Crystal Maiden and Luna as a melee. Luna, of course, getting easily the better farm there, but at the same time, if Havost gets good farm in the bottom lane, I think Na'Vi are okay with the way things are going right now.
And all eyes are on Slardar. As he picks up a smoke, he was just waiting for it to tick for enough money to buy it, I guess, as a courier is bringing it to him. Enchantress doing a nice job of providing some harassment and slow to this mid lane with that Wildkin, or whatever in God's name it's actually called, No Tail. Still has nothing skilled. I would assume he goes Crush, but of course it's very hard to get in position without Sprint, but going Boots first, I guess, mitigates that to some degree. This might be the best opportunity for him to go.
They need to be careful. The tornado is pretty far away now. Here we go.
There's the slow. Dendi not expecting a level 1 gank from No Tail on the Slardar. Dendi getting very low. Era as well quite low. The last right click will go to Fly. There comes the Sheep. Counter-initiating, beautiful Impale. Crystal Maiden Queen quite low as well. Uses the Frostbite on the Wildkin. No Tail's gonna get out. Fly barely so, along with Era who's getting the bottom.
Lion. Oh, regen?
Regen! Oh, it's gonna live at least for now. One more right click will do it though. And goodbye, good sir.
If that was a... No, there was no rune that could have saved him. I think even an Invis he would have died with, and a haste he wouldn't have healed up enough. But I was like, when you... I was about to say no one expects the Slardar, but with the role he's playing here, you have to expect that the Slardar is gonna gank. It's just a matter of when. And I think this is really hilarious. It worked out for Fnatic. They did get their first blood there, but it was actually close to a 3-man gank failing us.
Are you kidding me? God dang it, Cinderin!
Well, I didn't see that either.
Well, that's my 1 kill miss per game. So, in fact, I'm probably
one of the
averaging
10.
more than that. Yeah, 1 of the 10 actually. Dendi taking a little bit of harassment here. I'm more interested in this bottom lane. Can you tell me about the skill build on Khvost? Do you not? I guess the argument for getting Heartstopper Aura is if there's more than one hero, it pays for itself to some degree. In a 1v1 situation, I guess if you get Sadist, you can just spam Death Pulse over and over, but not sure.
I think since Heartstopper Aura got changed, I think it's a really good 1-point pickup. Because the radius is 1000 on all levels. This used to scale in both percentage and radius, or else the radius was scaling and the percentage was constant. I think both used to scale together. But now that the radius is 1000 on all levels, it means if Clockwork wants to stay in XP range, he's kind of... Unless he's on the limit of the XP range, he's passively going to take damage from Khvost, who can just zone him out with the aura over time. I think he should have taken 1 point in that, but I think this is just player preference. I wouldn't say there's one thing that's best here, and Necrophos is a hero we
pop
need.
Sprint, Dendi getting frostbit. Dendi's a dead Dondo, to say the least. It makes sense, I think. But kill goes the way of Slardar, so far the ganking and roaming Slardar is working to affect Puppey. Going in pretty deep, he's gonna have his Nature's Attendance though to keep him alive. No Tail getting caught within the creeps. Oh, actually the Impale's gonna hit 3! I can't believe it! Are they gonna be able to pick up a kill though? Sheep on Era. The right clicks from the troll are not gonna be enough. If they perhaps targeted Slardar instead, they would have gotten a kill, but they were definitely prioritizing the higher priority, which is Era. Don't end up getting a kill, and that might have been a mistake.
Man, that was such a sick Impale though, and I feel like Navi here, if they're just not ready when the ganks are coming. If they're ready to counter gank, all these ganks from Fnatic are gonna fail miserably. If there's one support there for Dendi, if the Lion is there, they can easily turn around and get 2 if not 3 kills. And if Puppey's there, there's absolutely no doubt they're gonna wipe all of Fnatic's gankers here, but they get the moves in at the right time. And it's really important that they get off to a good early game here, because as we talked about, roaming Slardar, really, how useful is that gonna be? But he set up 2 kills so far. So, and at the same time, Hani has won top lane by himself. Playing one-on-one against Funnick, he solo killed him once. This is a terrible lane for Tinker. It's level 4 against a level 6 Ember. He doesn't get help. He's not really gonna get anything anymore. He can't even go on the lane.
Dendi taking some damage mid, and looks like there's gonna be a smoke by Kuroki and Puppey along with a ton of creeps. Can they catch anybody out? The troll trap. I guess they're gonna have to focus on Fly. Not the best target of choice, but take what you can get at this point. They're gonna pick him up with relative ease. Well, top lane, you're right. I mean, he has a level advantage now. Speaking of the Ember Spirit, but of course, I think he brought this up as well. With that Flame Guard, the pure damage from Laser completely goes through that, and as well, you can't really right-click for a couple seconds since you get 100% miss. Wait, is it 100% miss?
Yes. The reason you're doubting that is that he actually used to be 60 for a period of time, I think, for years in Dota 1.
Oh, Kuroki.
He's in trouble.
Not expecting a ganking level 2 Slardar, but...
I can't get over this. This is so awesome.
It's working out, though. I think it's been relatively effective. Although he's not getting levels, which is obviously an issue for a Slardar.
Yeah, and as far as golden experience goes, Navi are leading by a bit. Not by much, though, and The big question for me here is how
again.
useful is Necrophos going to be? Because they're investing everything into him, which they should.
Oh, the dive mid. Slow is not going to hit. Oh, he misses the crush, but it's not going to matter. It just shows how much damage this combination can do. The Crystal Nova, as well as the crush missed, actually. But it's not going to matter.
Now Era is going to hit level 6 as well. So when he does that, it's going to be a lot harder, of course, for Na'Vi to go for these fights. Until now, without the Eclipse being available, it's been pretty easy for them to turn it around if they come in the right time. Now they kind of need to make sure they either split the Eclipse well with the Puppy's creeps, or that they focus Era down before he gets it off. And, well, Dendi is a sad Night Stalker this game. He's been focused really hard. But if I'm Na'Vi, I'm still not too worried about this if Tinker gets farmed, but he doesn't either. So the fact that those two lanes are struggling so hard, it's kind of a big problem. Of course, you're getting
exactly
a lot
what
of
they need.
They
smoke up. Era, of course, has his ultimate, so they can't really dive. I mean, they're going to be spotted, but they are going to dive. No, just one void on fly, and that is a completely wasted smoke, which is a huge deal considering. I think they used one before with a bunch of creeps, and they didn't even. They picked up a Crystal Maiden. So 2 smokes result in 1 Crystal Maiden kill, and of course, there's only a limited amount of smokes you can buy, so it's very important to keep in mind. There are no wards showing Na'Vi coming up top, although maybe they just saw him plain and simple since they got revealed to begin with. But Hani does not have his ultimate placed anywhere, I don't believe. And they're going to spot him. And it just turns daytime. Oh my god. That is horrible luck. Absolutely horrible luck. And it looks like Fnatic's just going to group up mid for a push.
It's unfortunate, but at the same time, Na'Vi should have known that. They have access to the clock at all times, so can't really call it luck at all.
Oh, the crush is gonna hit Dendi. There's the clockwork hook. Dendi, you are dead. There's a whole lot of nothing you can do here. I guess I was just assuming that Dendi had used his ultimate, which I doubt he's even leveled to this point. He hasn't. So sometimes it's kind of difficult to gauge that kind of information. But you're right. Clock does give that information away. So. In the meanwhile, Sonic actually has a bottle along with brown booty, so working very, very slowly towards... Actually, I'm kind of surprised he has this much money. Does he finish the Soul Ring or just go straight for the Boots of Travel to start with? Since he has 1k right now.
I think it depends how much Na'Vi stacked for him. I'm a little surprised they haven't really stacked anything. Of course, the Ancients were blocked for a long time, but since Puppy is spending a lot of time in the jungle, he should be able to stack a couple of camps at least for Funnick. He can take the one creep he really wants in every camp and let the rest get stacked, but because of that, Funnick is really crippled. I think he needs Boots of Travel first. If he goes for a Soul Ring, it's going to delay his impact way too much.
I haven't paid attention. Have they not been stacking Ancients?
Sorry?
Have they been stacking Ancients or not? Like, has he killed Ancients with his Martial Machines?
The problem was that Fnatic, I didn't see how they actually got in there. I think maybe No-Tail did it with a smoke early on, but he had an Observer Ward in there for the first 7 minutes. So they've been able to stack it twice now that they haven't, but apart from that, no opportunity to do it. Gonna do it now, for the first time.
Okay then. That'll boost his gold quite a bit. Even just like 3 stacks will probably give him enough money or close to for the Boots of Travel. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Khabos has some tank ability. Actually, no, he went phase boots. Has nothing on top of that. The gank ensues. And Khabos is dead.
A lot of commitment. If he has a mech there, maybe he stays alive, but... Is that on the curve? I think it should be, almost. He's 400 gold off now that he died. And for now, Khabos is by far the lead farmer here, but the thing is, Na'Vi has paid so much for this that I'm not sure it's going to cut it. So, to me, Necrolite will generally not carry the game alone, and the other 2 cores from Na'Vi are heavily underfarmed. So, they either need to organize a good team fight together soon, where they get to use Dendi during the second nighttime that kicks in, let's see, when is that? In 1 minute and 10 seconds. That's when they need to fight. Nighttime, mech on Khabos, and then they need to go. Lion is also almost level 7, so... very easily going to be able to kill pretty much any of the Dire heroes if he gets to catch them out with the Hex.
Absolutely. Rocket coming out, doing a little scouting on the Ancients, and now they know. But it's going to be probably a little too late. He only needs 500 more gold or so, a little bit less actually, for the Boots of Travel. Dendi's going to bottle this DD rune, and it's going to be nighttime pretty soon. I expect him to pick his ultimate up next. And I'm hoping for his sake that he actually hits level 8 before that time. because then that'll be a big ol' waste. Of course, Hani now picks up a Drum of Endurance, getting a little bit of tankiness. I didn't even realize, I guess I did realize there's an item set for Ember Spirit. Just remember now. And Era, they did get bottom tower. Thanks to that gank on Necrophos and transitioned into a push, and it looks like they're probably going to get this mid tower at some point, if not now. But Navi's grouped up at top. The question is, are they going to be... I guess they're going to wait for Tinker to probably get those boots of travel, because he can't really have much of a team presence without it. And the roaming No-Tail is going to scout him out.
I like this. Slarder with Tranquils and Sprint is pretty fucking fast. He's hasted, I think, when he uses Sprint, right? 28% on top of this?
We'll have to watch. I would assume so.
Oh, he is really fast. As we see,
it is a
triple footwear picked up by Navi, double treads, and the travels for Tinker. So now fnatic will start getting into... He's gonna start being able to fight. And here comes the breaking point, I feel. This is when Navi need to get something done. They have the mech, they have boots of travel on Tinker with level 4 March. If fnatic fight into a well-organized fight by Navi, they get crushed, I think. They do have an Invis rune. There's the sentry from Puppy, though.
This could be big.
He wants Era to come in here.
It is nighttime, so this is the best opportunity for Navi to get back into this game. Era pops his ultimate. Puppy's dead right off the bat. And Navi might be forced back here as a result. And that's going to be a big waste of time. Of course, Puppy will be up in about 15 seconds, so perhaps not that much time wasted in the end.
I think Navi can keep going here. When Enchantress is back... Oh, here we go!
Hook shot into Trixie. Trixie has the Blade Mail, though, doing decent amount of work. Lavos is going to use his ultimate on top of it, almost dies as a result. Will go down shortly thereafter. One more Lucent Beam, or maybe an auto attack will do the job. Dendi trying to take out this Ember Spirit. He's so hard to kill. The right click will finally get it done. Era, in the meantime, trying to run away. Funnick is here with his boost of travel. Impale's going to hit Fly in the meantime, not going to hit Era. Can Era get out is the question. Here's the roaming Slaughter for the freaking win. Zoning everybody out. And he's gonna, he's faking his crush, and Dendi is gonna get scared off.
A little bit of dancing here. But that was a 4-on-5 fight, and it was a 3-for-1 for Navi, and this is exactly what they needed. fnatic commit on trying to kill the Necrophos. They don't have enough single target damage. This is the problem I brought up in the early game, or before the game even started, is that this is what makes Necrophos good here. They have to go on him. If they can't kill him, his entire team will survive, and they eventually bring him down, but Rose did so much work in that fight. Maybe he would have even survived if he didn't reap aside Blade Mail Clockwork. And now Navi's lineup is
TP in. A bunch of TPs in. Is Clockwork ult up? It is in 4 seconds. Perhaps this was a little bit premature. Actually, a TP is cancelled. So I think they probably had the backup as a result of this, and they do. Poor No-Tail, level 5. Once he hits level 6, I mean, obviously this is a roaming Slaughter, so it's not exactly something we've seen before, but for any Slaughter, I believe the amplified damage is quite important, especially against somebody like Necrophos, who, I mean, he has decent armor, actually pretty good armor, along with that mechanism. No-Tail's gonna get the crush off. Is there a hook shot to follow? No-Tail's taking more damage than he bargained for, though. The hook shot's gonna miss. Dendi has no mana. Perhaps if he switches to int treads, he can find the kill on No-Tail, who's going to try to TP out. Oh, the Void will stop it! No! Doesn't have time to cast it, thanks to the Fire
Nicely played by No-Tail here. That was his only escape route, I think, which is why I'm a little surprised Dendi... But the thing is, when you're in the fog and you want to try to click there, you need to be a little careful, because AI recognizes that there is a hero there. So if you don't click in the correct space, it tries to take a path that's really stupid, and No-Tail used that to his advantage there. So very nicely played for him to get out. Navi still...
I thought they fixed that.
Are gonna get it
Didn't they fix that pathing?
Oh, sure. I don't think so. Am I imagining?
No, I don't know. I dream about
here we go.
Being fixed,
no time to talk. No time to cast
Dendi applying
either.
pressure. No-Tail's silence. He will go down. Still not level 6 though. Ember Spirit doing a lot of work to Dendi, who's gonna think twice about going back in. And Chantress dealing a lot of damage to Trixie. One more would have gotten the kill, but the Blade Mail's gonna avoid any more damage. Dendi goes down. A sheep on Hani. Not sure if they're gonna go in here. Necrophos doing almost no damage to the Crystal Maiden, and will have to be forced back in shame. Lion will fall, Puppy as well. And it's going to force the rest of Navi back a little bit sloppy there. I mean, a huge ultimate being wasted. And of course, I love the Blade Mail picks. I don't think we specifically mentioned it. An amazing counter to somebody like Necrophos.
I think, as you point out, that was just a little bit sloppy here from Navi, and fnatic took really great advantage of it with getting in with the Ember Spirit, but I want to point out, all of this damage Ember Spirit is doing, you just see it being negated by the Necrophos, as long as he has mana. But that's kind of the big problem for Vods right now. He doesn't have enough mana economy in his build yet, and getting an Ogre Club now, I'm assuming he's going for a BKB. It's not going to help his mana problems. I think it's almost better that he doesn't use his ultimate right now. At least if he's going to use it like that, it's better not to use it. Because it costs the same as 2 Death Pulses, that could have made a difference there for his team, but he didn't have the mana afterwards. Eventually, Hani just overpowers them since the March of the Machines are gone, the heroes have kind of used their entire packages of skills. Also, now he didn't get a Finger of Death off in that fight, a little surprisingly. There were a couple of things
well, I think
that
he got
went
picked up pretty quickly, but now that he has a Blink Dagger, he can actually initiate with that. I think that's going to be a pretty big deal for them. Now, for Necrophos' sake, after a Mechanism, I guess I was going to ask you what he goes next. It looks like it's going to be a BKB. They're just going more tank. This is kind of a hero that the build isn't really set in stone. I think the Mechanism is pretty needed, but after that, like, Bloodstone could be potentially really good on him. But then the question is, do you get that after the mech, and it's a little bit less effective if you don't get it right away? What is your personal favorite build? Since I know you love to play Necrophos, which I just made up.
In this game, I don't think he should get BKB. Because again, it's not about the lockdown or the single target damage, it's the spread damage in Fnatic. So I think Vods just needs to get control and mana pool. I think a Scythe of Vice now would actually be a good choice, since he's gonna have to, if he gets a BKB, as I said, he's gonna run into mana problems. And this time his team can give him quite a bit of control. There's a Silence on Dendi, there's a Blink Dagger on Lion who has 2 stuns, and there's the Tinker, of course, with all the marches and the laser, so I feel like there's enough control to keep Vods alive. And as long as he is... even the Bloodstone might actually not be too bad. Here we go, Puppy's in trouble.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Trying to get denied, does not do so, and the hookshot will follow on Necrophos, and Trixie with the Blade Mail is preventing Phobos from doing pretty much anything. Will try to get away. Actually uses his ult after the fact. Trixie almost goes down as a result. Funix almost kills him with the laser. Right now, 3-for-0 exchange in the favor of Fnatic, but they are quite low, so the chase could potentially continue to slaughter. Try to do as much damage, but will fall. And he's the only one to die, which is really surprising. I guess it just shows the lead that, I mean, it's not a huge lead. I don't know. I guess that's debatable. But typically when you have a lead like this, a lot of heroes get away with very little HP. That's just what to show you right there. Actually, BKB.
To me, this seems more like an issue of communication than anything else. It just seems in these fights for Na'Vi, they're not on the same page with what they want to do. Once again, we have a fight without Finger of Death being used by Kuro, and I think he very early on used the Earth Spike, the Hex. I think he might have even used 2 Earth Spikes, but still not getting his ult off, and it seems that they don't know exactly who they need to call as a target. I think more than anything, just call a target and start getting some heroes out of the fight to open up for Dendi. Any sort of disabler they can take out will allow Dendi to move a lot more in the fights, and when you have Finger of Death and Necrolite ult, I mean, you cast both on the same hero and he dies, because the Necrolite ult, since it got changed, kicks in after the damage is applied from everything else that happens during the Scythe duration, which is 1.5 seconds. It's more than enough to set up for a Finger of Death, and now if we do that once, they kill the target, and then suddenly the fight can look very different.
And this could easily spiral out of control for Na'Vi as the hookshot's gonna hit Puppy with the Blade Mail. Puppy's nature's attendance is keeping him alive, at least for now. Here comes Kuroki. Of course, still has the Finger of Death, as you were talking about. Hits the Impale, deciding to just leave Puppy to his own devices. God, that heal is so ridiculous for Puppy. Had so much time. Kuroki's still not using the Finger of Death. That's just saving at this point. Uses it for no reason, though. Oh, a beautiful Impale to follow. But, of course, Hani is there, and that spell is ridiculous.
And once again, Vods running out of mana here. Hani trying to slide a fist into the Searing Chains, not finding Dendi though.
I think Phobos should go for, I think he should have gone for Shivas. I mean, talking about the amplified damage
too, but really low health pool he has been. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of tough for him in any case.
Well, that's the problem with Necrophos. He needs so many items that you just say, you need this, you need this, you need this. So it's kind of
that's why it's, you know, after Na'Vi did the good push top, I'm surprised with how disorganized their team fights are, because I was favoring them in 5-on-5s, but they never really got the fight in their turns. Not once.
Blink Dagger initiation from DOTA. Phobos is about to get blown up, pops his mech, but will not survive this fight. Era using his ultimate, but the BKB is going to be active for Dendi, so taking pretty much no damage whatsoever. Hani, though, getting caught out. Nice silence. There's the sheep to follow. Of course, they don't have Finger of Death because it was essentially wasted in the last engagement. And Fnatic will fall back. Was the Aegis used? No. Hani still has that. Now, once he gets
And Era's
Desolator, in combination with Slaughter's amplified damage, that will hurt quite a bit. Which is why I brought up the Shivas, because I think an all-around great item for Necrophos.
Hit lane again. Thinking about it, honey.
That's a beautiful thing about, well, I guess it depends on your perspective. Beautiful or just awful to go against. Ember Spirit can initiate from so far away with very little risk to himself.
Right, don't open the graphs. How much golden experience do you think Na'Vi are behind by right now? Just feeling.
Let's say 7,000 each.
Okay, you're really close on the XP, that's very impressive. The gold is 2,500.
Really?
That's what's crazy about this. They're actually staying in the game in terms of farm, but they're getting out leveled, and if I'm in this game and I'm Fnatic, I don't feel that right now, that I'm not more ahead. Because everything they do just seems to work, and again, they're going to catch up. Probably nice and pale, but
Axes, please!
not going to be enough. And it's kind of just the story of the game, is that Na'Vi get a hero caught out, they try to turn in fight, and it's too late. They're not in position with the right heroes at the right time.
I have to say, the Blink Dagger for Kuroki, we haven't really seen come into effect at all.
I agree.
He's had it for like 5 minutes at least. They are going to save this tower at top.
It's crazy. It's 7 to 19. This isn't even close to being over. And it is a BKB for Vost. He bought the recipe. There goes the Aegis for Hani, expired. He's got a full Deso though, and now he's gonna hurt really hard.
Well, kind of like we were referring to last game with the glass cannon build, which this isn't necessarily the glass cannon since he did go drums, but he's kind of protected quite a bit with Slardar and Clockwork initiations. And of course the BKB on Luna, well, Crystal Maiden will just die in a heartbeat, but that's Crystal Maiden's job. Although she has a decent amount of money, is
Now Fly's getting big here.
closer to a BKB now, unless she's going for the patented halberd, which is always a possibility on any Crystal Maiden on any given day. We have a smoke.
I think BKB is great here. The only counter is Reaper's Scythe, which you really don't want to have to use on a CM. Although he did it earlier. So maybe he does.
Take what you can get, good sir. Era and the rest of Fnatic be taking out these Ancients. That is a double stack, unless there was more that I missed. He, of course, has his BKB on 8 charges right now. I've seen a lot of people get casual Morbid Mask and then just forget about upgrading from a Helm. Is that, is there a reason for that? Obviously, the lifesteal isn't that big of a gain when you upgrade it, but more the taking over a creep than anything.
So, if you upgrade the Mask, I feel like if you want to upgrade it at this point in your era, I think it's too late to get a Helm of the Dominator to start stacking Ancients. You would have done that earlier. So, you either upgrade it to a Mask of Madness, which I think isn't really useful, or you just wait and finish other big items and keep the lifesteal, which is great. 15% is awesome. This used to be 10 on this item. Got a massive buff at some point to the Mask itself, making it a lot more worthwhile purchase. And you finish the Manta, you finish the Butterfly, and then you upgrade your lifesteal item.
Alrighty then. Dendi has the haste activated at the current moment. Clockwork putting down his cogs to try to zone out as many creeps as possible. We might have an engagement here. Era is going to get caught out. His initiation from Notel. The both taking a ton of damage along with the ultimate from Era. He will get blown up right off the freaking bat. Dendi focusing on Fly. Who gives a crap about Fly at this point as Dendi goes down to the right click of that very same person, Kuroki, going down to no-tail, and this is an absolute disastrous fight for Na'Vi. They lose 3, but do get 1 in the Clockwork. I feel like they focused on Fly too much there, and he still lived.
Fnatic are doing the perfect thing. This is exactly how they should be initiating every single fight. Even if they only catch Necrophos out, just focus him down instantly. They went in with Slaughter, they went in with Ember, and I think even Trixie, or the Luna. The Luna used Eclipse on pretty much only him, I think.
Oh my goodness. I thought he had enough time to react to that, but got caught off guard thanks to the nighttime provided by... In fact, Fnatic had less vision than him because Night Stalker's ult provides less vision or whatever. That's funny. That's funny.
But, that's another fight for Fnatic, and of course the Roshan is now open up for them as well, who's going to respawn in 30 seconds. Slaughter actually going to get a medallion, because why not? And no-tell, what I really admire about his playstyle is that we've seen it in, apart from the Alchemist game, his movement, he doesn't really have anything in these games, but his movement itself is so valuable that he doesn't need items. In this game, of course, he got a Blink Dagger, which is huge, but the way he set it up was with his early movements, and the Slaughter rolling.
sheepstick. Oh, Trixie pops his blade. Phobos is going to take a lot of damage to boot. In fact, they're going to trade lives at the end of the day. Kuroki. In fact, Trixie lives, at least for now, but the Void's going to take him out. Here's the Centaur trying to stomp to his heart's content. Dendi pops the BKB, finally going to save you from Hani. And they're going to have to back up. Despite having a great initiation, it is a 2-for-1 in the advantage of fnatic again. And really, it comes down to the blade mail was a huge deal there. We're just seeing
been amazing again in this game. He's 0-3-17, which is kind of hilarious. And he's been getting the job done. All his initiations have been great. He's getting the blade mail off with perfect timing. He's catching the key targets that he needs to. And yeah, I feel like Trixie, No-Tail, and Hani for me in this game have just been doing so much work, and that's not taking anything away from Fly and Arrow, who've been playing great as well. It's just been absolute top tier play from fnatic all around, and to be honest, I feel like Na'Vi have been kind of a big opponent for themselves in this game, in missing their timing and seemingly not being sure about what they want to do in the fights. I don't know if you agree with me, but I feel like they don't know exactly what the plan is with the Necrophos pick either.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'm just realizing, but I'm coming to fruition with the BKB on Phobos, which is not quite done unless he just bought it. Which he did not. He is still a ways away. He is picking that up 100. I mean, sure, there's a little bit of magic damage coming from Fnatic's way. It's the blade mail. That is 100. But the question is, why not just use your ult on somebody else and then go for an item that perhaps gives you a little bit of more, both tankiness and mana? Because the mana capacity is a really big deal here for him.
The problem is he's getting it so late now that we're getting to a point where having a BKB on, you're still just going to die to the Ember Spirit. He's hitting so hard now that, yeah, it's not going to be about magic immunity.
I want to know the win rate for Ember Spirit in our tournament. I think maybe he lost one time.
I don't think he's been picked that much. He's been banned a lot. I think he won
every
game.
He's at 5 or 6.
I think it's 100%.
I think it's funny because the first maybe 2 to 3 weeks, probably 2 weeks to be more accurate, in CM, he wasn't really... Nobody knew exactly... Actually, no, was he activated in the middle of this tournament? I think he was. That's probably why. Yeah. He was added to the pool in the middle of this tournament.
Oh, No-Tail. Whoa!
I take a lot of impetus damage, but pops his illusions. Dendi popping the BKB, again focusing on Fly. Poor Fly has the BKB, and Dendi waits. Well, it's a 7-second BKB, now it's going to be 6. There's the initiation from No-Tail completely missing, but it's not really matter because there's enough damage to go around. But here comes Kuroki, there's the blink dagger coming effect. Trixie and company taking down Hani. There's the ultimate from Phobos, finally getting a kill with it, but Era
unstoppable
eclipse 100, well maybe 95% of it on both him and Enchantress. You're just seeing the damage potential from Era without the creeps in range. Boy, oh boy, this is going Fnatic's way big time. And hey, maybe it's a little too soon to call it, but Fnatic has been known for finishing second in a lot of tournaments. Could this be?
Looking at a point now where it's kind of like the whole purpose of the way Navi's lineup was built and why I was excited about it never really happened, because they kept getting caught out by Fnatic's good ganking heroes and never really got the team fight that they wanted. The one team fight they got right was the one at the top tower, where they got 3 kills, I think they got the tower, and they were starting to look like they were going to come back in the game, but Fnatic, after that point, have just been finding kills everywhere. Navi haven't been able to get in the way they want.
And that just comes with map control, and that's exactly what Fnatic have. Of course, they have been finding a lot of Na'Vi players in their jungle randomly, so that might attribute to their easily gankingness, or easy English. That's what I'll end with. Phobos is still not done with his BKB. I guess he keeps dying like right before he's able to buy it, but he's been perpetually stuck with like 600 to 900 gold for the past like 15 minutes, it feels like. It's probably inaccurate. Oh, No-Tail, Invis, gonna get a double crush. Here's the damage to follow. Hani almost takes out Funnick in his wake, but Lion will be the only casualty in this fight. Blink Dagger now on Crystal. Look at how tanky she is with that BKB. Has a Blink Dagger to boot. It's gonna be an uphill battle, big time.
Goddamn, Fly has a lot of stuff. It's not that often. I feel like there was a point when we saw a lot of BKBs on CMs, but that was when it was trending getting a Midas. And in particular, I feel like Fly for Fnatic is often sacrificing himself a lot, really playing a sacrificial lamb, setting himself up basically to die to get some good fights here and there, and doing the majority of the supporting. But in this game, he's really been getting along with CM, and if he gets a good Bling ultimate off, as I said, only Reaper's Scythe is going to stop it. They don't even have the damage to stop him before the ultimate almost gets to, well, half duration, I guess, which is 3.5 seconds. If you're in a freezing field for that much, you've lost the fight.
If you have to use Reaper Scythe on a Crystal Maid even without a BKB, then you've probably lost the fight already.
Yeah.
So if you're using it just for the stun mechanic, then that's a big old waste, to say the least. Tier 2 tower gonna go down in Fnatic's favor in all likelihood. Na'Vi just cannot do it. I mean, they have Funnick. I would love to see an Aghanim Scepter on Funnick to prevent pushes. This makes him more of a turtle hero, I feel like. Would you agree with that? Yeah, it adds double the range of laser and doubles the rockets overall, or the missiles.
I think in this case it could actually be a nice choice, but I think it's too late after he bought the ultimate orb. So he's already made his decision to go for the Axe, which, you know, the thing about Axe on Tinker is it's really good, obviously, but there's just so many other choices that are good on Tinker that it's hard to justify getting it in most cases, because, let's be honest, is it justify getting rockets that get them back in the game, or a clutch Hex?
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, anything that's activatable, generally speaking, is going to be higher priority for a Tinker. Yeah. But I still am waiting for the day when I see that, because I don't think, well, I haven't seen it in the competitive game.
I think it's so awesome. It's really cool, but they just mostly are better choices.
Should I bring up the XP and gold? You want to take a guess?
Want. I can also tell you what it is.
Damn it, Synderin, you're supposed to guess, but now you can't. You've ruined it for everybody.
I think the gold is about 16,040.
Okay, well that's pretty accurate, yeah. Not bad,
the experience is about, let me see, 23,480, I'm gonna guess.
It's a pretty precise guess, I must say.
Wow.
Were you like a professional player in your past life or something like that?
You didn't even try to calculate if I was right? You were worried about being wrong. You can calculate the exact number on the graph because you can see it in the bottom left of the window. It says the exact values. So,
man, you're just professional through and through, Synderin. What would I do without you?
Professional, serious production value right there.
Absolutely.
Good guess.
DOTA Center with the highest production value of any stream by far. We don't need no overlays that come up in game showing the pickups of. Actually, what did they add? It was that's right, Rubik's ceiling spells.
Amazing.
Which is pretty cool. But instead, we have nothing. We in fact have a prize pool that doesn't exist, so you can't really beat that. Haunting in the last hit on this tier 2 bot. Gonna force Na'Vi back. They're trying to find somebody in the jungle, but they're gonna not run into anybody. Assault Curse is the choice for Night Stalker, but quite a ways away. Still a Hyperstone and Recipe. In fact, maybe he picked up a Hyperstone. Nope, did not do so.
Well, Fanatics still need to go high ground.
It's true. Well,
and they need to
that's
go
the
into
beauty.
Well, it's
well,
only
Ember
Tinker.
Spirit. I mean, Ember Spirit against high ground, and then a Clockwork and Slaughter Initiation with a CM with a Blink and BKB. I don't think they're gonna have much trouble going high ground, to be honest.
Well, they're still not doing it.
Well, they want to wait for Roshan here. Playing it safe.
They might also be concerned that it's still actually possible for Na'Vi to win these fights. It's not only about being safe, but if they run into marches, they don't have a pipe, do they? No. So they're still going to take the march damage pretty heavily, and if they commit too much and Na'Vi get a little bit of a foot into this game again, they could come back. But of course, we're looking at kind of a miracle at this point, but it is still possible.
Fnatic has had leads in the past, perhaps not this big, but regardless, have had leads that have led to them becoming stomped about 10 minutes later. Like, the turnaround has been ridiculous, which is why Na'Vi, again, for those that don't know, they were first seed in this playoff bracket, and they chose to go against Sigma over Fnatic, just because of the unpredictability that is Fnatic. And you're seeing it right here, come into effect. So, I'm not gonna say they were scared, but they definitely preferred to play Sigma, and this is kind of what you get with Fnatic.
Yeah, I'm so impressed, and they haven't been unpredictable in the playoffs, I feel.
That's
if you want to be unpredictable, if you want to point out anything that was unpredictable, it was what their game plan was in some of the games, but their play itself was amazing. If they lost, it was on strategy, and it's kind of been the same in this grand finals, right? The game they lost to Na'Vi, what was that? Yeah, that was kind of a strategic loss as well that I talked about, where Na'Vi just had the Death Prophet kind of Death Ball lineup, and Fnatic didn't have enough control for it. The other games, Fnatic have just looked so solid. And I don't know what they've been doing recently, but whatever they're doing, they should just keep doing that and keep playing like this, because then they're looking to be in great shape for some big events coming up soon. Probably going to qualify for Starlander, I would imagine. And of course, we've got DreamHack Summer coming up in June. It's in a long time, but still. And the ESL, which they, I believe, need to qualify for. So, being in shape for that qualifier right now is obviously crucial.
Era's gonna pick up this Aegis and the butterfly. And once he picks this up, there is cheese actually. I didn't even realize this was the third Roshan. This will be very difficult for Navi to hold, even with the marching machines. And actually, Era's gonna take the cheese. Hani's gonna get the Aegis.
I think it makes more sense. Hani's going to commit more heavily into the fight, and he risks getting stun locked, whereas Era has a BKB and can easily time his cheese usage together with that. I think it's go time for Fnatic, and unless if Na'Vi does an absolutely incredible defense, this is going to be Fnatic's first championship in a long time.
Vods finally picks up a BKB and goes another Ogre Club. I would assume at this point that is, if he had time to finish it, would be an Aghanim, actually. Which is kind of surprising that he wouldn't get the point booster over that, but regardless, it may not matter in the end. Puppy getting Frostbit and Force Stats himself. Voidfall active, good initiation from Navi to start, but look at the damage! Oh my god, triple kill for Hani. And GG well played before they even go down. Ultra kill now. Jesus H, make it a fucking rampage, bitch! To end the grand final, Fnatic takes it in convincing fashion, 3-1 good in freaking Navi. It is.
Man, I don't even... That last Ember Spirit Sleight of Fist, I think he got 2 crits, if not 3.